What's the one thing that shaped your journey as an international student?
Because I think if you don't put yourself out there, you're missing out on finding people that also want to help you. I remember in my first year, I came a bit later. I actually came 10 weeks later into the term.
So when exactly did you start applying for jobs? What was the first feeling like when you got the offer?
I was shook.
Welcome to this series of highlighting our success stories, Kevon. So pleased to have you here. Do you want to start with a quick introduction about yourself? Tell us where you're from, where did you study, and where are you working at? I think that's the part that everybody here wants to know about.
Um, Hi everyone, my name is Kevon Mukabi. I am an international student from Kenya, Nairobi. I currently just finished my marketing degree with a first class honors from Nottingham Business School, and I was a previous marketing intern working at Adobe within the B2B marketing team.
Um, Inside and outside of the university, what's the one thing that shaped your journey as an international student?
What helped me was just going for every opportunity that I saw along my way. I think having that positive attitude of putting myself out there allowed me to, one, develop courage to explore different opportunities in a different space, and then also find other people within that path that then help me as an international student. Because I think if you don't put yourself out there, you're missing out on finding people that also want to help you. And then once you find those people that want to help you, stick to them. That's exactly what I did. So I stuck to my lecturers, I stuck to my career advisors, and we just walked the journey together to get me to where I am today.
Any particular person that you want to highlight, Kevin, who's like, I'm so thankful to this one person?
Um, Probably my tutor. She's called Jane Bartholomew. I remember in my first year, I came a bit later. I actually came 10 weeks later into the term
Wow.
because it took long to process my documents. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I've missed out on so much. I don't know, everybody has already made friends, everybody has already moved on. I'm coming into the last 2 weeks of the term, like, what am I going to do? And she just took me under her wing and supported me from the onset because she saw that I had the courage to move to a different country by myself and just
Yeah.
be willing to put myself out there. And she's one of those tutors that have definitely stuck with me throughout my entire university experience. And like I said earlier, once you find someone that's willing to support you, stick with them. And
Stick with them.
she was my biggest advocate. So whenever she saw opportunities that she thought I was best fit for, she'd reach out to me. And that also gave me a lot of confidence in myself to explore different opportunities during my university experience.
As a student, so many of us do not even know the importance of, building these relationships, right? You were quite proactive about it as well.
Yeah.
So when exactly did you start applying for jobs? Did you did you have a strategy in mind?
I wouldn't say it was the most streamlined process because I do understand how competitive securing a placement is. But I did have this sort of mindset that I'm just going to apply for opportunities that I think fit best. And then I categorized my applications in regards to the different industries that I was interested in so that it would help me sort of decide if it's marketing, I can do marketing within FMGC, I can go to tech, I can go to the education sector, I can do something creative. So I guess categorizing the sort of industries that I was interested in allowed me to sort of streamline my applications a lot better. And then once I understood how the different processes work, then I gain a lot more confidence because throughout the entire process, I discovered that a lot of companies had different application methods. Some of them were online. You do so many online tests before you spoke to someone.
Yeah.
You would do a lot of case study material before you spoke to someone. But for Adobe, like one of the first processes, I spoke to someone on the phone, and I felt like
Really?
that was it really stood out for me because a lot of the times when we were sending in applications, the only chance you get to speak to, the only chance you get to speak to some people is probably at the end of the interview or like during the assessment center. But the Adobe application process sort of signify that these are people that care about who they're hiring and they want to meet you from the onset and support you through that entire process.
That's very encouraging. That's after a long time I've heard of a company do that. In the middle of the world of automating things and using AI,
Mhm.
to do majority of the tasks. Let's talk about Adobe actually. That's a very interesting one because it's the tools that the company provides. All of us have used at some point, right? All
Yes.
of us.
Yes.
I'd love to know why Adobe. How did you get in? What was the process like? I think
Mhm.
for anybody who's into marketing, who's into the design field, who's into tech, this company would stand out for any
So
student,
in
right?
100%. If I could talk you through the application process. So the role that I ended up securing was it was a bundle sort of role. So there were four different opportunities that
Hmm.
were available, and I had to submit my CV. So I only had to submit my CV. I didn't have to write a cover letter for this particular placement. And I guess that showed me that the importance of tailoring your CV to the role so that you have everything that they're looking for in your experience. After I submitted my CV, I had a screening call with a talent partner. This is where I said, "Oh wow, I'm actually getting to speak to someone this soon. I've not had this. This is new." And so I spoke to the talent partner, and we just spoke about what was on my CV, my motivations for applying for marketing, and what that looked like. Why
Hmm.
Adobe, why the company, why do I think I'm a good fit? So after the application, after the phone screening, I was then shortlisted to attend the assessment center. So I get an understanding was, let's say there were about 1,000 plus applicants, and then 40 people were shortlisted for the phone screening, and then 12 people were shortlisted for the assessment center, and then they were
Wow,
only hiring 4 people.
that's a
So
huge filtration,
yes,
Sunny.
it was quite a competitive application
Wow, kudos to
process.
you, Kevon.
Thank you, thank you.
We
But I
can do a
think
hashtag for you now.
hashtag Kevon. But I think what stood out for me during the assessment center was that it was different. And Adobe is a company that's very value oriented, especially in terms of the kind of people that they want to hire. And I remember during one of the tasks that we were given for our assessment centers was to prepare a presentation that
Okay.
speaks about one of your hobbies or interests and then relate them to one of the company's core values. So essentially, they wanted to understand who you are as an individual and how you fit into the overall company culture. And as a marketing professional, I had to be smart about this. I
Hmm.
have been using Adobe's products for as long as I can remember. I am a digital artist, and so I create a lot of digital art using their products. And I thought that this would be the best way for me to show them how I have used their products to fund my creative interest, and the value that I connected that to was being innovative. So using their products to sort of innovate my creative pursuits, etc. And I guess that really stood out because it showed them that I'm someone that knows their products, and I've also used their products for good. And they're a company that values a lot of creativity. So it sort of felt like I was just showing them what I've done with my work. And during the assessment center, like I said, we were being shortlisted. There were 4 open roles. So essentially, it was more or less like a pitch sort of interview cycle. So you'd speak with one in marketing manager, you speak to another marketing manager, depending on the role that you felt suited you best. And then after that whole entire experience, a talent recruiter called me and said, "There's 2 roles that you're being considered for, but
Wow.
there's one of the marketing managers wants to have a separate call the next day because she thinks that you'd really be a good fit for her team." And so after the assessment center, I had a separate call with I'm a marketing manager who ended up being one of the greatest managers that I've had. And that's how I ended up securing that role. And like I said, finding people within your path during your international student experience that sort of believe and feel that they can support you. So when I got that opportunity for the call and I got that contract and I was told, "You have a week to decide whether you want to take this contract or not," I went back to that tutor that I met in first year and told her, "Okay, I have this opportunity." It's come very early. I think this offer was coming around November. Mind you, this is like the first term of second year. And this role
Starts next
starts
year.
the next year in July. So making this decision and holding on to it right this early on was huge for me. And so I went and spoke to her and she said, you know what? Just go there and do it. You know, a placement is an opportunity for you to go and learn and immerse yourself into a different space. And I was moving to London, so that opportunity to go to a completely different country and just immerse yourself into the everything that is London. And it's a big company like Adobe. They definitely want people that are going to go there and do great things. And so I locked in on the offer, and that's how I ended up joining the industry marketing team at Adobe.
Amazing, amazing. That's such a fantasy world, right? For most international students, like even for me right now, I'm just listening to him, thinking, "Oh my God, how did he do it?" And I wish I had done it. What was the first feeling like when you got the offer?
I was shook. There were so many emotions that was going on in my head because I just remember I was just recalling my experience back in Kenya using probably a cracked version of the app because I didn't know where to
Right.
get it. And now I'm getting the chance to be part of the marketing team at such a huge company. I don't think it really hit at that point. I think when I went to the offices prior to starting my internship and met the other interns, I think that's when everything clicked for me that this was going to be an opportunity that I was going to
Lifetime. Yeah.
yeah, that I was going to take full advantage of, and I was going to be supported by a huge intern cohort that was also going through the same experience as me.
Apart from the paper degree that you take home, I think this
Mhm.
is the second most important thing you'll be taking home.
100%. Yeah, your network. True.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we've two more things that we would love to know from you. The first is the university as a support system, right? Now,
Mhm.
of course, that's the place that gave you this launchpad and the opportunity.
Mhm.
So, do you want to tell me about the support that you got from the university careers? We work with Nottingham Trent. We've worked with them closely since many, many years, so we know the inside outs as well. But we'd not love to know a student perspective from how did they help you? What stage did you reach out to them?
I think there's two things, there's two probably opportunities that I could highlight. One, there's a program called the Black Leadership Program at my university. So it's a program that's geared to second year students of ethnic minority heritage. And
Okay.
it's a program that takes place throughout the entirety of your second year, where you are also assigned a mentor within your industry. So I was
Right.
assigned a mentor that mentored me for about 6 months, who was a marketing professional. So this was prior to me going to my internship experience at Adobe. And I think that opportunity to speak to someone that's in my shoes, or who was in my shoes a few years back at NTU, and see where they are from a marketing perspective, allowed me to understand the best things that I needed to do to succeed in my placement search and also my overall placement experience when I was joining Adobe. And in collaboration with the careers team, I think those are the people that I saw the most during that whole
Yeah.
entire period. I always used to go to them for CV advice, for interview advice, and they at times would give recommendations of reaching out to prior people who have potentially worked at Adobe that also went to the university, and then they would sort of give you an idea of what the application process looks like. Obviously, the application process might be different every year on year, but I think having access to people that have been through that experience allowed me to feel a lot more confident. But I think
$100.
the one lesson that they also shared was the importance of LinkedIn. I think
Mm.
LinkedIn is a tool that I have taken full advantage of throughout my placement search and my job search, and just that aspect of building a social profile online that can be seen by recruiters, because a lot of the times people also want to see what you've been able to do, and having a platform that like LinkedIn that you can use to your advantage to highlight some of the skills that you want people to know you for has allowed me to sort of build a personal profile for myself that I can use in applications or in my job search.
Yeah, I love that. And I think LinkedIn is, or any networking platform, I would say, a lot of people consider it like a means to an end. But I feel
Mhm.
like LinkedIn is a place which is such a long term game plan for you and for your personal branding, especially. So even though, we're all doing things for recruiters to see it, and they would kind of go through that journey, but also long term, right? What is as a person, what are you showing to the world?
Mhm.
What are you championing? What are the things that you care about? That speaks loads, right? And I think that gives you a very good chance, especially in the marketing field, to address those. How did you first come across Student Circus? What made you give it a shot, or try the platform out in the first go?
I think I came around Student Circus when I was doing my research about studying in the UK. So from back in Kenya.
Oh,
So I
long
found
back?
it was way back, but
Oh,
I
wow.
think it was a while back. I think at that time I was a bit naive. I wasn't too sure what exactly Student Circus was, but it did look like an opportunity that I'd be open to exploring in the UK. So when I came to the UK, I primarily followed them through their social channels, and I'd see a lot of people recommending using Student Circus as an international student, like on TikToks or on LinkedIn. And so I would occasionally go on there, especially during my application process for internships. You do have a lot of resources there that sort of give you advice, or like some blogs about why am I not getting interview calls, etc. What do I need to add onto my CV? I think that sort of helped me streamline my application process. So I think it's definitely something that has followed me throughout um, my university experience, and it's definitely a platform that I would also recommend for future students because it gives you tailored job recommendations that are geared towards international students. And there's a lot of opportunities on there that I saw, and I was like, oh wait, we could actually end up at these companies that are on here. And a lot of I don't think there's a platform that I've seen like this. And the one thing that I love about Student Circus as well is that it's community led. So through all the different ambassadors within all the different universities, even at NTU, they do care about championing that international student experience and providing different opportunities for people to get on board. And I know tailoring your CV is very, very important because it shows the recruiters that you actually care to explore these opportunities that are there. And sometimes a lot of the times most of the times when we have a lot of experience, it's very hard for us to sort of dilute or select which experiences that we are going to
Yeah.
put forward for a lot of interviews. And some of them are not usually relevant for the roles. So I guess using a CV builder allows you to understand that not every experience that I have on my CV needs to be added
Needs
on
to.
here. I need to be
Yeah.
able to specifically tailor the CV to the job requirements, and hopefully that propels the CV forward.
Interesting. I love the fact that you actually started looking for job search advice or careers in the UK before even coming in, and I think I can totally now relate to the fact why you were successful at whatever
Mhm.
you've done so far. Because I think the key aspect is being proactive and to persevere. So it's not easy to find a job, right? Of
Mhm.
course, not for anyone or any opportunity, especially in a country like the UK where things are so competitive. But kudos to you. Well done. And I think that is the kind of, I would say, attitude that is needed. Final piece of advice to international students who are just starting out, feeling unsure about the process. What do you want to tell them?
Um, I think I'd tell them that
You
you
tell them to use
belong.
student circus. That would.
Find Student Circus first and then start from there. But I feel like just know that you belong. You belong where you are. You belong where in the university that you've chosen to be at. Because I do know that a lot of students come to this country by themselves, or they don't have like a huge community, and those initial stages of being an international student are usually quite scary because you're in a completely new environment. You probably speak different. You're trying to understand the nuances of accents and whatnot. And at that point, there's somewhat of some imposter syndrome at the start. You start questioning like, did I make the right choice? Am I in the right place? What should I do? But I want to emphasize that you belong where you are, and you've come to this country for a reason, and find people around you that are going to constantly reaffirm that decision for you. And that's why it's important to find that community around you and have that confidence to go out there and go for all those different opportunities because you have the capacity to do so. And just be open to new ideas. Be open to new ideas, meet different people from different cultures, from different countries. There's always something that you don't know that you'll be exposed to. And be open to fail as well. I think that's something that a lot of people fear. be open to failure. I think fail as many times as you can. Some of us are here for a short time. 3 years goes by really quickly. So just make sure that you put yourself out there for opportunities, even opportunities that you think you're not fully qualified for. There's always something that you can learn in that process, and it will inform future opportunities that come for you.
Yeah, I think you're a great storyteller. I can already say from this half an hour chat that we've had, you have a lot to give to the community, lots of positive energy, I think. And I think uh, all of it adds up, right, for why someone would want to work with you.
Mhm.
And I think that's what a lot of employers see. It's something that you can easily. I wouldn't say you even have to make an effort to pitch this, right? For you, for yourself, like your personal brand and your storytelling ability, like just does it, right?
Mhm. I think
Have you
that's
seen?
marketing. That's why I studied marketing, because I feel like marketing is a subject that it has allowed me to explore so many different things, and it's also allowed me to take ownership of where I want my life to go and think strategically about the things that I involve myself in, and the relationship that I cultivate, and the kind of creative project that I get involved in outside of school. I think my degree has definitely come to use in so many different ways.
Amazing, lovely. Okay, I think we've covered everything that we wanted to. So thank you so much, Kevin. It was lovely speaking to you. I'm very inspired today, for sure. That's something I can already tell you. And we'd love to keep in touch and kind of see where things go. And we're honored to be a part of your journey. Very honestly,
Thank
it's
you.
great. It's great to hear stories like these, which give us the uh, satisfaction really that okay, we're doing something to help international students, which even if it helped you, a fraction of the effort that you were putting in, that's a win for us, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much.